Hey, what's going on, everyone? Joe Menza here, and we're going to do a nice little watercolor painting. I know a lot of people have been waiting on this one. Going to use this 400 Strathmore again, 12 by 15, or is it 11 by 15? Anyway, it's the spiral bound type. So I'm going in heavy and heavier on the paints. Just want to show you how you can do this, but this is heavy, like a raw sienna, yellow ochre. As you know, I kind of tend to mix colors up a little bit. If you go a little heavy, you can lift some color back out again. So I really want some intensity here. And if you watch any of my videos, you know I enjoy intense watercolor paintings anyway. So we've started off with the yellow ochre raw sienna color. And I'm just dabbing some out with the paper towel. Now I'm going into this color here. This is the indigo. I've really started liking this color. I've got, I think it's a store-bought brand, Blix or something like that. And I also have the one from Hobby Lobby, indigo. And I really like, actually, Hobby Lobby's, I think it's a master's touch. It's a really nice color. So anyway, you can see I'm just dabbing it in. Now, you don't have to fill the sky like this. I don't know why I do it. I think it's a mental thing, but I'm just filling in the sky and I'm leaving open the center. I think we're getting just a very energetic sky here, which is fine. And I'm putting some in on the bottom just to, if I'm going to have water or whatever. You know, ultramarine is a really nice blue. I enjoy that color, but this indigo, I really like it. And if you use it almost neat out of the tube, it's almost a good substitute for Payne's gray. That's how dark it is. It's just is not as deadish as the Payne's gray. So it's a nice dark deep blue. I'm going to give this a dry. I'm not going to put you through the entire drying process, but I want to dry this down. And as you can see, I have this piece of paper next to me. We're not using a lot of color here. I'll probably use a little white, but we're going to kind of stay within a very limited palette. So I'm putting in a little more of that yellow ochre raw sienna kind of blend there. I'm just putting that on the bottom here. I just want a little more yellow from the sky, just to kind of have a little bit of harmony here. And then next we'll put in some trees and do some pine trees. And it's nice to have a little piece of paper like this next to you. You could, you know, use your palette, but it's nice to see it on a piece of paper. Now here, instead of coming in with the, I'm just going to show you how you can use the corner of the brush to achieve some nice pines. And this is the large hake, actually. You can use a medium. You can use a small. But if you use the corner of the brush like this, you can make some nice pines. And this is, again, with the indigo. I wanted to use the indigo to really offset, rather than make like a dark green or something like that, keep it in the tone of the theme of the tone of the painting and have it dark enough that it sets off in the background. And of course, the idea is always fast and loose. We don't want to get caught up in details. That's the allure of this method. We're not trying to make, you know, the next masterpiece, although it might be enjoyable, something somebody might buy. The idea is to not get caught up into details and not break out little tiny brushes. Go for shapes, color, tone, light, and come up with something that's pleasing to the eye. Watercolor is said to be a very challenging medium, but it does not have to be. It can be, because the way it dries versus the way you put it on kind of pulls you into the idea of fussing. So that is where the medium can have you kind of go astray. So the idea is put the shapes down, don't fuss with it too much, leave it alone. It's when you start fussing that the painting becomes ruined, that you start to fix something, when it's really better left alone. If you take and video your paintings as you're doing them, you'll see points in your video where you go, you know what, I could have left it right there. And it's a good idea for journaling if you have no intention on ever watching anybody, you know, letting anybody watch your video. It's like videoing your golf swing. video it so that you can watch back and you can remember how you did it. I go back and watch my own videos. It's like, how did I know I did this once before. How did I get that look? And so for my own, you know, catalog of how I did something, it's great to go back, and I'm learning from myself in a way. It's kind of interesting because there's so many variables. There's so many, you can, should I put a dark color, light color, this, that? There's so many different variables that it's thousands and thousands. I mean, you could do it 10 different ways. So really, from here on in, it's just a matter of adding just some little details. Not really much to do. Some little grass and things. And in here, while this is still wet, I'll scratch in just a few little rocks with the plastic card. And maybe just put in some sticks here and there and for some tree trunks. And of course, as I always say, I add a little darker color underneath the rocks just to kind of anchor them down and contrast them, make them a little bit brighter without actually painting them. Now here, this is kind of optional. I thought I'd add just a touch of white and just kind of highlight these trees. Not really necessary, but I thought it would kind of just create a little bit of contrast. A little bit of the indigo with a little bit of white. Just a few little odd and end details, and that's pretty much it. Well, this was an enjoyable one to do. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope your painting is coming out well. If you have any questions, obviously let me know. Let's take a look at this in the matte. And here it is in a white matte. And we'll zoom in, get a little close up here. It's a little glare. And that's it. Simple, bold, and very few colors on the palette. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thanks for your support.